In this video, I'm going to spend a full week working with a portable triple monitor setup. How will I take these monitors with me, I hear you ask? Well, here they are. These are the Meta Quest Pro 2, and according to the ads, it looks pretty sick. But as you know, I'm pretty skeptical, so I bought them to truly put this feature to the test. Are they really as good as the ads make them seem? Let's find out.
Please remove your headset and pay close attention.
First challenge is how difficult is it to actually set up? Alright, so I don't even know how to turn this on. I feel like I almost need to Google this stuff first and like get some sort of insight into how to start it up and like what to do with it. I'm gonna be honest and say that this pass-through thing is like, I mean, it's good, but you can tell that it is a camera, so it's kind of jittery. But yeah, I mean, you can actually, I could potentially live like this and like do stuff. It's going to be a bit weird. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a set of different challenges that I've designed to really put this device to the test. And the first test, or the first challenge, is going to be something that I think a lot of people can relate to, which is commuting to work and working on a little laptop. Imagine if you can put these glasses on and then have like that triple monitor set up in front of you.
I'm in Gothenburg, one of the remotest and wildest places on the planet.
This is a human remain.
This is a desolate landscape. Commuting to work here forces you to push yourself harder and further than anywhere else. Only the toughest could commute in this extreme environment. I'm gonna show you the lengths you need to go to stay alive and survive that commute.
So it actually worked kind of decently as long as we were going straight, but as soon as the tram turned, these screens just went out the window. So it doesn't really work on a tram or a train, but does it work on a plane? Alright, so I'm on board this airplane right now and I'm gonna test these glasses out mid-air, and I think we have a pretty good testing scenario because this seat is super cramped. I don't have a lot of space in front of me, and yeah, I'm very interested to see what this will actually be like, and I hope this test is actually worth it, because I've bought literally 4 seats on this airplane just so that I could be able to actually film this sequence. So you really can't blame me for not testing these things properly. But yeah, like you see, I don't have any space almost, so I'm gonna try them out and hopefully, I'm very curious about seeing like what this will be like. So here's the Top Gun challenge.
Please remove your headset and pay close attention, and the summary will follow in English. We would like to summarize some of the safety information included on the safety of logo in your seat pockets. Always keep your seatbelt fastened over the legs. I would remind you to also during the entire flight. The approximate seats and number of you know that are fastened here. Good night, then.
At some points when I'm here, the screens will just go like slowly start moving to the side if the airplane starts moving. Like if we start turning, the screens just start moving slightly to the side, and if there's turbulence and stuff like that, then the screens just at one point they just drop through the floor. Alright, so this means that the device doesn't really perform well in unstable environments, which is good to know, but it's unfortunate because it would have been really cool. So now let's move on from the unstable environment test. Let's do no more unstable environment tests. And let's do some tests where the device really should perform well and where it should be in its essence. In its element, I mean. Alright, so next up we have the cafe challenge, which is where I'm going to try using this device in a cafe. Lots of people basically go work in cafes, so the idea is that you could potentially have almost your entire office with you. And there wouldn't really be any difference between you working in your office or in a cafe, which would sort of be the best of both worlds. Okay, so this is really what it looks like. All right, so I've used this thing now for the past hour and a bit, and it definitely does work, but there is the quite big disadvantage of like looking completely insane, and it's very like awkward trying to shoot me actually using this device. But yeah, it definitely does work, and it was quite interesting actually working with it in this environment. You definitely get a little bit lost in it, and it feels better when you have it on. It doesn't feel as embarrassing, I feel like, but as soon as I take it off, I realize I've become very aware that I've been sitting with this like helmet-looking glasses. Okay, so the cafe challenge, I mean, it works, but also in a much more real sense, it really doesn't work at all. I mean, maybe if you don't suffer from like crippling social anxiety like I do, then yeah, maybe this could work for you. But I think for most people, these glasses would need like a design revamp in order for you to actually want to use them in this sort of context. So this kind of takes me on to the next challenge, which really is the critical one in my opinion. This is the one that will actually determine whether this is the office of the future or whether it's really just a feature that's more of a gimmick than anything else. So let's do that now. Let's do the couch surfer. What's the couch surfer, I hear you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. To perform the couch surfer, here's what you'll need. A comfortable couch, a VR headset that's way overpriced and capable of AR pass-through, and a laptop. So, get yourself into a comfortable position right now. Got it? Good. Now select your target, preferably a highly secure institution with a real nice back door. And it is on. So now that I've tested this thing out in all these different situations and scenarios, what are my thoughts on it? Do I think that this will replace my desktop monitors? Will it be the office of the future, or what do I think? The answer to those questions is no and maybe, and surprisingly not for the reasons that I thought it would be when like going into making this video. It's not because they're heavy and like uncomfortable to wear or anything like that. I mean, they are really heavy, but it's just not a big deal to me. It's not a deal breaker because I was able to take them with me in the carry-on, no problem. And it's also not because of the pass-through quality, which is way worse than what Meta kind of promotes it as being. Because to me, the quality is good enough for what you actually need it for. Most of the time, you're going to spend actually focusing on the monitors, so the external environment's going to blur out anyway. And the only thing that you need it for really is so that you can interact with a few things, like grabbing a drink, which I think that it's good enough for. So that's not a deal breaker for me. But what is a deal breaker for me is the connectivity issue between the glasses and the actual laptop. The speed just isn't there yet, in my opinion. It's just super laggy when you're trying to move the mouse around, which makes it very uncomfortable to use for extended periods of time, which means that coding or video editing or really doing any sort of work is just going to be super annoying, frustrating, and uncomfortable. So they definitely will not be replacing my desktop monitors. And I mean, the connectivity issue, I hope that's solvable. I think that it is solvable, but my opinion is that I don't think that Meta is really going to be the future of this space. I think they're focusing too much on the VR aspect, not enough on the AR aspect, and I'm very excited to see what Apple's going to bring out within this space, because from what I've heard, there are rumors going around that they are actually working on their own pair of glasses and have been working on them for ages. And they're going to be focusing more on the AR capability rather than the VR, which I think is where the future of this technology lies. Now, I know nothing, so take that with a grain of salt or take that however you will. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.